kind of like, okay, we're getting a little bit of information of how this case is being handled behind the scenes, and it seems like something might happen soon. Chantel also disputes the idea that the children were drinking alcohol, stating,
Do you know if the children, based on being in international waters, could I drink alcohol?
No.
You don't know?
No, they didn't. They're not old enough.
She's asked about Anna, who's 18.
What about Anna?
I don't know.
I don't know if I'm reading too much into it. I just think it's weird because Anna's family have already come out to state that there was no alcohol in her system. So why don't you just say no? Or why don't you just say, no, there was no alcohol in her system? Or not that I know of, but just like, I don't know. It just gave me, I don't know, Anna's crazy. And my boy is not. I know he was not drinking.
I see.
Because then she's asked again, were you aware that the children were gambling at some point?
Weren't you aware that the children were gambling at some point?
Well, Anna's 18, so I know she was in there at one point in time, but the other kids were not.
You're sure that the other kids were not gambling?
I'm sure the other kids were not gambling.
Which again, I am, if anything, a nitpicker at the end of the day. Okay, some people pick and choose their battles. I like to nitpick, and when it comes to these things, this is not an insinuation of guilt or innocence, but the way she talks about Anna feels very, well, that's not my child, she's 18. It's just weird. She just overly emphasizes that Anna is 18 and she was in the casino. It just gave me a very unsettling feeling. Her attorney asks her, Anna was 18, correct? Correct. She was an adult? Correct. And was she given the option of staying in another room? All three of the kids were. And that room would have been with grandma and grandpa. Correct. And they didn't want to do that. No, they wanted to stay together. Which again, I don't know how that would be feasible because if Anna leaves the room, then you don't have an adult in the room. And that could have posed a problem. Thomas Hudson gets on the stand. So this is the boy's father. And he states that he never prohibited their eldest son from calling Chantel. The eldest son did not want to talk to Chantel. Quote, he has his own phone, and I've always left that up to him if he wants to call her, talk to her, or anything. Now, Andrew, the eldest son, becomes very pivotal in all of this for a few reasons. The attorney asks Thomas Hudson to describe an incident where Chantel and Chris allegedly kidnap Andrew and choke him.
What?
The attorney states, Andrew, will testify about the restraint that happened by Mr. Chris Kepner and by Chantel. Basically, they held him in the back of the seat. Christopher Kepner had reached back and had his head pinned against the back of the headrest, and there's photographs to show neck damage.
Wait, Andrew testified? What is happening?
Andrew does testify. He gets up on the stand, and he is 17 when Chantel and Chris get married, and they move in together. Chantel is trying to take all three kids with her. But Andrew's 17 and he bargains with his mom. He's like, I want to stay back because not only are you just moving in with this like man and all of his kids, I want to stay in the high school that I've been going to with the friends that I'm about to graduate. I'm a senior.